Hey YouTube, Otto here. So Grape Shot has dropped another Captain's Log 22 hours ago. And this one, while short, was very impactful. Ahoy Pathfinders, this will be a rather compact Captain's Log focused around updating you all on our progress as we work towards the upcoming mega patch, which we're going to designate Atlas 1.5 so that we don't have to keep calling it mega patch. It will include information on some changes along with further details related to our public testing realm. So that looks pretty cool. It's a picture down in the water, the ocean, you know. Treasure chest there, covered in weeds and stuff, like it's been down in the little water a little while. Looks probably a ship hull. So that's what we can probably expect from the new treasures that we'll find down in the water. Okay, let's dive in here. We have made a decision in regards to our PvP network for Atlas 1.5 based upon taking your feedback into consideration along with our own development pipelines and vision for the game. I like this part here, taking your feedback into consideration. Okay, so they're hearing, they're listening, okay, and they're trying. That's good. We feel our players are interested in primarily two distinct different styles and scopes of gameplay. One group of player is interested in design focused on small to mid companies, 2 to 50 players. And another has a preference for large company-centric design, 200 plus players. Rather than aiming to strike a middle ground between the two groups, which might end up diminishing the experience for either style of gameplay, or both styles, actually, it could diminish it for both. We wanted to support two modes separately to see how that plays out. We're going to be running two uniquely configured PvP networks to allow players to choose the game mode which best represents your playstyle. To be clear, while we hope both of these networks prove permanently successful for their specific purposes, we'll continue to iterate on their rules if necessary. Okay, Atlas 1.5 will feature 3 unique game modes. Large-scale PvP mode, Atlas Empires. Kind of appropriate, considering it's going to be on a world scale with no limits. Atlas Empires will honor the original Atlas system. Notice what it said, the original Atlas system, with which players are familiar, whilst incorporating some small adjustments to the claiming system to address issues players were experiencing. To clarify, Atlas Empires claiming systems will be very similar to the traditional claiming system, but adjusted for maximum speed, increased rates. Okay, now that's going to make a big change, but we'll get through this before I comment. And no anti-size scaling. This will be the go-to hardcore mode for those looking for sandbox, high risk, and high reward on a grand scale. We will not be limiting large companies. There will be no scaling based on members, and there will be no PvP windows or war system. And so what this means is 24/7 PvP is open all the time. What this means is there's no scaling on orgs. You can go as big as you want. Alliances as big as you want. Let's see here. They may not realize it, but the very nature of how Atlas is built, whether it's large scale, and we'll get to this mid and large scale, or small scale here in a minute, but it's all hardcore. The entire game is built around a hardcore mindset. The combat that's out there, the risk reward that you get out there when you get shot, you get taken down, you can be looted, you can burn many hours losing ships, and even more hours losing bases. It's all hardcore. The difference is the large scale there's just pretty much there's no limits on orgs, there's no limits on alliances, and it's a wide open PvP 24/7. Okay, so hey, if that's your thing, go for it, have fun, enjoy. That is pretty much, to me, the old system, which they're calling the traditional system here. And there was just too many problems for my playstyle. And so I don't believe that I will be looking at this just because currently all the guys and stuff I run with, we already see so many flaws in this original that even if we wanted to go larger than say 50, this is already too broken for us. And I'm not going to share all the ways to exploit the system and how to absolutely shut it down so that you are untouchable, but it is possible. We already know it. There's no question in our minds about it. And so, you know, if that's your thing, go for it. I think I could be wrong on this next point, though. This may see more lag. Not really sure. Because I guess, like, the way some of us guys were looking at it is the bigger your org, the bigger your base and your ship docks and all that stuff needs to be. And I think all of us build, I don't know, pretty decent anyhow. But we were noticing frame rates. Several of us are running high-end systems, and we're looking at our frame rates, and they are really hard to swallow. And we believe it's because we're in areas with literally tens of thousands of pieces. And it's having a considerable hit. So I'll be really, really curious about what this is going to do for frame rates. Yeah, I usually run 120 plus FPS in every game I play, like everything, and that's at 1440p, not 1080p. And so when I come into Atlas, I'm not even seeing close to that. And sometimes the system struggles quite a bit just to be able to pump out playable frame rates. Sometimes, you know, when frame rates start dipping below 30 FPS, it's kind of like, whoa, you know, what's going on? So I think this is true for people that like the large scale or the small to mid scale. Frame rates are definitely an issue. Getting those frame rates better would be absolutely awesome. It seemed like they got a little better for a while because I was seeing as high as 90 sometimes, but they don't hold, and often it chugs at considerably less than that. So I'll be real curious to see how frame rates are affected by these new modes. That's always been something I've watched. I've just never really verbalized it. Alright, so moving on. Mid-small scale PvP mode. I think this is going to cover a lot more people. And I think people that get burnt on the Empires mode are going to end up over here in the Atlas Colonies mode. So we'll see how that goes. Atlas Colonies will be more structured and will utilize the new claim system we've announced. It will include hard company and alliance limits, the war system, and raiding hours. This game mode will be survive and thrive. I like that. I thought that was real creative. Survive and thrive, targeted towards smaller and medium-sized groups. We will be seeking to incentivize players to fight in the open world and on sea while maintaining the options to raid bases and seize territory from enemies for those dedicated to doing so. So one thing I did notice is it seems like back in the other dev video and stuff, when the Mega Patch was originally released, I thought I caught something in there that said you'd no longer be able to steal property. And I thought it may even have been in the notes, I'm really not sure, but I thought that's what I had heard or read. And I noticed here it says you can seize territory. So somehow, if that's the case, then somehow there's a way to lose territory. And we'll learn how all that goes after it drops and we get in there and start working with it. But I've talked with the guys and everything that I run with, and many of them have decided to give official a go. And this is, since this released, we've not really talked about it a ton, but those I have talked with, this was just a no-brainer for us. Even if we did get bigger than the 50, which is absolutely possible, we can still run some allies, and we've seen some critical flaws with this. Some of these flaws in the Empire can carry over into the colonies as well, but the fact that your troop now, your company is now, like up to size 50, here we go, 2 to 50 players, that makes it far more manageable for our play style. So that's what we're going to be looking toward, or looking forward to right here. So PvE mode, Atlas PvE. Oh, we didn't get a cool name for it. Like, these I thought were real creative. I liked these. Atlas Empires, that was really good. Atlas Colonies, it was really cool. Atlas, what is this? We need a name. This game mode will be spooling up with changes, and the system will be based upon details discussed in the last captain's log. We will monitor our PvE mode in the PTR and beyond, and continue to iterate on it as we move forward. And so this looks like it's going to be playing based off the last captain's log. This is going to be real similar to Colonies. They did say they were going to allow PvE to claim islands and stuff, and with my experience on both PvP and PvE servers, I fully agree with that. I'm glad PvE is going to have limits. I'm glad PvE is going to have the ability to claim land. I've seen people do some very PvP-ish moves on the PvE server by exploiting and abusing the rule set to the detriment and to the ruining the fun of other players on the PvE server. And so I'm really glad that they are implementing something to try to show people, you know, here's your boundaries. Build within your boundaries and you should be fine. Especially if you are the governor. I mean, if you're the governor, you're really going to be taken care of. Or even if you have the governor's ear, you may be very well taken care of. But those that are looking to be jerks, you know, the governor can really help minimize that. Because I think many of us, what we're looking for is a fun, enjoyable experience, not one that's full of a lot of drama and toxicity. So, okay. And the public test realm, what do we got here? Oh, and the submarine. They've been working on it because now it's armed. The Submarine Harpoon is a new underwater weapon which will ramp up oceanic combat. So that's going to be really interesting right there. Sharks, whales. I even wonder if you could use the sub underwater. I wonder if that's exploitable. Can you use the subs underwater to attack ships over and over and over and over and over? Because remember, cannonballs explode when they hit water, and so they can't go down under the water. But now you have a sub with a harpoon. Can that sub destroy ships? Which is kind of broken, because that would mean that the sub could damage the ship, but the ship can't damage the sub. And so I don't know what they're going to do with that there. That's a potential exploit or abuse. I don't know if they ever really intended that. Maybe they did, and if they did, maybe they have a solution for that. Okay. Public testing realm. Work is still continuing on the upcoming game system changes, and to ensure we put out the most quality and complete patch possible. I like that. Quality. We will be delaying the release schedule. Alright, this is not really a surprise for many of us. When they originally said March 20th, many of us expected late March, early April anyways. So we weren't really shocked by this. I would rather see a delay with solid quality than rushed and see garbage. As such, the PTR will be released late March, early April. Exactly what we were expecting. And we expect the test realm will run for approximately 1 week. Wow, that's kind of short. I wonder if you're going to get enough feedback in a week. Maybe. Please bear in mind, the run time may be adjusted after players get a feel for the changes. Okay. And if any critical issues arise. Gotcha. So it's subject to change, the length. We know that players are keen to get back into Atlas. We are excited for you to do so as well. I know, right? You forced many of us to go play something else. Gosh, we had to go play Apex Legends. We're committed to a quality Atlas 1.5 launch, though, and it will take a little more time. In relation to our public testing realm overall, we're planning to get multiple smaller clusters online, which will incorporate the 3 game modes as well as everything else listed in the patch notes. Players can expect higher rates to facilitate fast progression and testing of the new systems, along with the fact these servers are likely to wipe as needed. Yeah, it's a test roam. You expect those to wipe, but usually test roams hook players up at an accelerated rate so that they can jump right in and test everything that needs to be tested. I'm still really liking this third armor. I think that's really cool. For some reason, it's very Eastern to me. Maybe it's got some Eastern cues to it, but I kind of like that. Okay. Various armor skims to help you personalize your character will be included in Alice 1.5. Kraken Bowl. Various companies organized and participated in an entertaining FFA Kraken Bowl on NA PvP on 3/6/2019. OWO emerged victorious after various rounds of ship-to-ship combat. You can check out these highlights from their event here. And for those that want to check it out, I will leave a link for this down in the description. I'm going to check it out myself, but I'm going to check it out after the video. And these were just the release patch notes for version 22.21. And so, yeah, again, this link will be down in the description. And remember, guys, keep everything respectful, and we're cool on the channel. We'll be cool, no problems. We are supporting a healthy, fun community rather than toxicity. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, do you, and we will see you in the next one.